Yeah, we said like
Yes. A function is a relation that assigns an element x to set A, exactly what element y in set B. You have to have two sets. You have to have two sets. Two sets is your domain set and your range set. X is your domain, Y is your range. Set A is your domain, set B is your range. Input is your domain, output is your range. Do y'all get all those little words I just threw out at you? No. So we'll go back over. Now, a function means that 1 has chosen 4, 2 has chosen 5, and 3 has chosen 5. In order to be a function, every element in the set A has to be used. And it has to go to exactly one element in set B. 1 chose only 4. 2 chose only 5. 3 chose only 5. However, I do not have to use all of 6, or all of set B, which is the number 6 that I did not use. Can we see that? Now, I make this very easy for you. To be a function, each element of A must be used, and set B does not have to be used completely. I talk about the ice cream candy example. It's a very easy concept. To be a function, you choose either ice cream or candy. You may not choose both. So who in here wants ice cream? Who in here would rather have candy? We're not a function because 2 people did not vote. Because all of set A was not used. You people are set A. Does that make sense? So therefore, we're not a function because I did not use all of set A. Does that make sense? Yes or no? Yep. So we're going to try this again. Even if you can't have something, make up something. How many people want ice cream? How many people want candy? We're a function because everybody voted.
that's a lot.
We're a function. Okay? Do we understand that? Yes or no? We chose one or the other. Here's what I want you to view a function as. You get to a dead-end road, and what do you have to do? Turn around is an option.
There you go.
Turn right or left. You have to choose one or the other. You cannot go any other way. Do we understand that? Your 2 options when you get to a dead-end road, not dead-end, a T road, is to turn right or to turn left. Agree? I didn't mean to say that. I backed up and said the correct thing. Okay? All right.
Congratulations.
Oh, you are fine. Sure. Okay. Now, the questions you ask yourself: do my x values repeat? And if they do, are they the same y values? That's the 2 questions you need to ask yourself to be able to understand what you have to do for determining if it's a function. Okay? So, the domain we talked about just a minute ago, it is the x values, which is set A, which is also known as the input, or the first coordinate. Range is the y values, which is set B, which is also known as output, and the second coordinates. Yay, nay? Excellent. Moving right along. Is this a function? What's the first question I ask? Do my x's repeat? I don't care about set B because for 1, I don't have to use all of set B, right? And for 2, the only reason I need to look at set B is if set A repeats, right? So I've chosen -2, 0, 2, 4. Did I repeat any number up there? No. So is it a function? Yes, it is a function. Why is it a function? Because the domain did not repeat, which meant it chose a value. A value, singular, one specific value. Moving right along. Is this a function? -1, -1, 0, 2. Is it a function? Holy moly, check it out. -1 has chosen 2 values. I need to ask myself, are those values the same? Did it choose 1 and 1 twice? No, it chose 1 and -1, which means it tried to choose ice cream and candy, which means it tried to choose turn left and turn right. Yes? Do we understand that? So is it a function? Not today, tomorrow, or the next year. It is so not a function. Are we good on that? That wrote the other word. Yes? Are we good? Excellent. This is like problems 1 through 9. on tonight's homework? Select problems 1 through 9. We done whining now? Get over it. Next. Notation. I'm going to do homework with you. If you guys keep whining, I'm not going to do any homework with you. Okay, function notation, y equals f of x. You guys have known this since you started algebra. Y is the same thing as f of x. F of x is the same thing as y. Okay? They replace each other. F of x is just saying that it's this function and its variable is x. If it was f of r, what would that be? It is the function f with a variable meaning r. So the f, the g, and the h just means that they are different functions that are all described to have the same variable x. Do we all understand that, yes or no? Okay? The next one is f such that x implies. It's exactly the same thing as f of x, which is the same thing as y. The colon is the such that, the arrow is the implies. Any questions over that? It's just another way to write it. It looks more complicated and more involved. Yay, nay? Yay. Okay. Next. F of x is equal to 3x minus 2. Talk to me. Part A says to do f negative 5. What does that mean? That means all this is plug and chug. This is just plug and chug. Every place you see an x, what are you putting in for it? Negative 5. So I have 3 times negative 5 minus 2, which is negative 15, minus 2, which is negative 17. Yes, do we see that? Stop. Now, notice I plugged in a number, and what did I get out? A number, more, just not an answer, dude. A number, right? Okay? Now, I want to do part B, which is f at x minus 4. Now what am I plugging in? Which would be called what, mathematically? X minus 4 would be called an expression, an equation has an equal sign. This is an expression. Okay? So if I plug in an expression, what do I get out 90 to 95% of the time? An answer, yes. An expression. If I don't get an expression, what am I getting? A number, because things can't go out, right? When you plug in an expression, you get an expression out. Unless, whenever you do the math and you calculate things, things cancel out and you get a number. Okay? So I'm going to use 3 times the x minus the 4 goes there, minus the 2. Do you see that I plugged in 4x, the expression x minus 4? Hello? Distribute 3x minus 12 minus 2 to give you 3x minus 14. And I got an expression out. C. 5 minus 7x, what do I do? Plug and chug. What am I plugging in? I replace our sum of x, I plugged in the 5 minus 7x. Distribute. 15 minus 21x minus 2 to give me 13 minus 21x. Ain't that blissful? Yes? That's not what I want. This will be like problems 27 through 37. Like 27 through 37. Okay? Very easy concept. Plug and chug, you're good to go, right? This is number 31 out of your homework for tonight. Number 31 out of your homework tonight. Minus the square root of y. Equals 3 minus the square root of y. F of y is equal to 3 minus the square root of y. Okay? Alright, now, what am I doing here? Plug it and chug it. So 3 minus the square root of 4. What is the square root of 4? So 3 minus 2 is 1. Yes? It's a y. Part B, F at 0.25. What do I do? I think it is. Let me make sure I'm not making this up. I have 3 minus the square root of 1/4. Why did I put 1/4? Because 0.25 is the same thing as 1/4. If I write it as a fraction, then I know. Because then I can go ahead and separate the top and the bottom and write this as 3 minus the square root of 1 over the square root of 4. And what is the square root of 1? What is the square root of 4? And what is $3 take away 50 cents? 2.5, which is 250 to give you 5 over 2. Do we understand that? Square root of 1 is 1, the square root of 4 is 2. 3 minus 50 cents is $2.50. $2.50 is $2.50, which is 5 over 2 as an improper fraction. We good? And the last part is part C. Now what do? Plug and chug. So I'm going to have here 3 minus the square root of 4x squared. Now, it gets a little shady here. What is the square root of 4? What is the square root of x squared? I am happy with this. The textbook is saying, and the textbook is 100% right, just making sure you're understanding that, is the absolute value of x. Because if you take a negative number and square it, what is it? Positive. So you're actually changing the value. That's why you're talking about the absolute value of x there. Okay, that's why they want those there. Any questions on 31? No. Because the absolute value of negative x is x. No, but what if x was a number and it was negative? You have to prepare, you have to understand that the variable is a placeholder. And it can represent a value. You have to say, well, what is that value? It would be negative. If it would be negative, then I have a problem. I have to put the absolute values to do that. Does that make sense? I want you to think about it. If your mind is there and you can say, oh, well, I know this is that funny looking what Theodore was talking about, go ahead and put the absolute values in. If on the test your brain forgets to go there and you just give me the 3 minus 2x, mama happy. Okay? All right, moving right along. 37. What's going on with 37? Does anybody know what this kind of a function is? What this function is called? I think of pie whenever I say this because I always want to have a piece of the pie. Now, nobody remembers still?
I don't know what it's called.
This is called a piecewise function. Okay, a piecewise function has graphical criteria. Okay, it gives you two different expressions, and then it tells you when to use those expressions. For example, the 2x plus 1 will only be used when x is less than 0. So what type of values am I going to plug and shove into the 2x plus 1? Negative 1, negative 1, negative 5, negative 3. I'm going to use the negative values for the 2x plus 1. What about the 2x plus 2? I can only use that one when x is greater than or equal to 0, so what type of values am I going to choose there? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Positive ones. For example, part A. F at negative 1. So how do I know which one to choose? I'm asking myself, is negative 1 greater than 0 or less than 0? It's less than it. Since it's less than it, I immediately am going to choose the part of it that is less, which is going to be the 2x plus 1. So I'm going to be using the 2x plus 1. I write that down so my brain knows which part of the piecewise function I'm using. And then I plug and shove into that. 2 times the negative 1 plus 1 is negative 2 plus 1, which is negative 1. Do we understand that? Okay, it is simple plug and shove. The hard part is determining which part of the piecewise function to use, correct? What about part B, which is f at 0? Why the second one? They both have 0 in them.
So equal to.
The second one says it's greater than or equal to. So now I know I'm going to be using the 2x plus 2, which means now I'm going to have 2 times 0. To give me 2. And then I'll finish this one off to give you letter C, which is f at 2. And which function do you use when it's 2? The second one, which is going to be the 2x plus 2. To give you 2 times 2, which is the 4, plus the 2, which gives you the 6. Any questions on 27 through 38? Do you get that? Excellent. Moving right along. The next type of problem is 39. Everybody get their books open to page 26. And in page 26, it says complete the table. They give you T, and then they tell you to do H at T. And those are the values that they give you. Negative 5, negative 4, negative 3, negative 2, negative 1. What do I want you to do as a teacher? It says to complete the table. How do you complete the table here? It is plug and shove. Now, folks, I'm making you purchase a graphing calculator, correct? It would be wise to use the graphing calculator I'm making you purchase. Correct? If I'm giving you a test problem that says complete the table, I never want you to sit there and try to complete this by plug and shove. You can, but it's an absolute waste of time. Since it's an absolute waste of time, what do I want you to do? Throw up your calculators, please. Just hit home.
It won't run at all.
The battery's dead. Plug it in, get a new calculator. Okay. This is the teaching software. I didn't like that. I'm gonna have you guys do this. All right, who wants to be the guinea pig? Sure. Okay. I'm going to capture the class. Logged in. And Huh. Miranda, you're it. Because Rachel doesn't seem to be up there.
Yes, you will.
Yeah, it was.
I didn't find you, I'm
I was
sorry.
right next to
She was
yourself.
right beside me.
Alright, go to new document, 1. Hit escape. 1. You want a graph page. Now, what I want you to do is I'm going to show you 2 ways to enter this in. We have to do absolute value, correct? I want you to do 0.5. And then I want you to hit the key that is directly above the division key, the multiplication key. Do you see the key that's right above the multiplication key that you just hit? Where would absolute value be?
The one right below it.
Second row, first one. Go over to it. And enter. There's your absolute value key. If you forget absolute value, put ABS, it'll give you absolute value. Type ABS, it'll actually give it to you. Now, what you're going to type in there is, what was it, x plus 3. You cannot use t, you have to use x every time. So type in x plus 3, please. Hit enter. There's your graph. Okay, now why did I want her to graph it? What does this line consist of? All of the points that make up that lovely little V graph, right? I need to see specifically 5 of those points, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to hit menu. Today, menu. Oh, are you kidding me? Hit menu, and in menu, you then should have okay, Andrew, you're up now. Hit menu, and then I want you to go to view. And then we want to see the XY table, because I want to see 5 specific values on there. So go to the XY table, which is number 9. From now on, what shortcut key can we use? Control T, right? Now, do you see that currently his XY table is at 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4? Yes? Are those the values I want to see? No. So here's the way I'm going to show you to change your table properties. I want you to go to Menu. I want you to do Table. And I want you to edit table settings. Down, down, down. Now, at this point, what is our starting at? What values do I want to know? I want it to start at -5. And what is my increment of my values that it's asking me to do? Now, you want to start at -1 and you are -5, and it wants to go by increments of 1, so go all the way down to OK.
I'm all screwed up in this thing. I don't know that, really, okay. I didn't do that. Where's my go-to? 5 plus 5.
Was it X minus 3?
See, look, yeah, it's auto. The auto.
Which one?
Okay. Oh, I did X minus 3, and it's supposed to be X plus 3. Okay, tonight's homework.
Already just half it.
We did a lot together, so you guys would have a clue what you're doing, which is a good thing. Tonight for homework, you owe me. You owe me.
Big time.
1 through 9 odd and 27 through 45 odd. I've showed you every set of instructions except for the last two problems, and you guys should be able to use common sense to figure this out. Chapter 1, 2. Chapter 1-2, 1 through 9 odd, 27 through 45 odd.
Check your answer.
No. Calculator for me. Have a great day, guys. If you are having problems with your calculator, please leave it out because I want to know what's going on with it.
Well, I don't have a